Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. How are you guys doing today? We're good? Yeah. It's a little cooler. We're celebrating. A little relief from the heat. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today for the graduation of Class 1007, Guide Dogs for the Blind. Yep. We are here at our California campus. Thank you to all of you joining us at home. We're here to celebrate a lot today. We have 4 of our newest guide dog teams. 2 of our newest breeder dogs. And 1 new canine buddy partnership. You guys are a great audience. I love all the clapping. Yeah. We're here to celebrate all of you guys and to celebrate all the work that goes into getting where we are right now. We always take a moment during graduation to thank all of our puppy raisers who have just transformed these little cute little fluffy balls of pee and poo into guide dogs, right? Somehow magically. All of our volunteers who just give a commitment to guide dogs as if it was their lifelong career, but you're volunteers. It's really amazing, that depth of commitment. I also want to thank our donors. We couldn't do this without you guys. Yes. And I want to particularly acknowledge a few donors this graduation. The John Momey Foundation from Culver City, California, for the sponsorship of Morgan Watkins and Larry. And Lillian Tremaroli for sponsoring all of our harnesses throughout all of 2024. Yep. And I also want to thank, so we've talked about our puppy raisers, our volunteers, our donors. I want to acknowledge all of our staff members for, yes. We have staff, all over our whole country. We have staff in Canada, we have staff remote, we have staff on campus. All the departments, we are just all needed to come here to put the work in to get us where we are right now. And I also want to acknowledge, we talk about those 4 groups like as if they're distinct groups, right? How many of you fit in more than one of those categories? Yeah. And this class too. This really hit home to me. Our last graduation I was at, where one of our vice presidents was receiving a breeder as a breeder custodian. Like, what a cool wearing of 2 hats for guide dogs. And here in this class, we have people who have worn more than 2 hats, who have been staff members, who are donors, who are also clients, who have connections to puppy raisers. Really just shows the length and the depth of our connection to this organization. So I want to thank all of you. I want to celebrate all that you've done. And before I hand the microphone over, we're going to watch a short little video. It's called We Are GDB. And you'll notice that there's more than one voice in the video. In addition to the narrator, we also have an audio describer. And that audio description, in addition to some captions, are some accessibility features that we've included in this video so we all can enjoy it. So thank you.
At Guide Dogs for the Blind, we believe that everyone deserves to move through the world safely and confidently, to live the life they want to live.
A man and his guide dog walk through a park.
Our life-changing programs meet people who are blind or visually impaired wherever they are along their journey, whether that's by matching individuals with highly qualified guide dogs, providing guide dog readiness skills in our orientation and mobility immersion program.
A man holds a white cane and smiles broadly.
or pairing youth and adults with the companionship of a canine buddy.
A young girl cuddles with her canine buddy.
Together, we are GDB.
My name is Renee Carrasco. My dog's name is Snoopy.
Renee sits in front of a fireplace.
So the reason that I wanted to get a guide dog was because I came across some videos from Guide Dogs for the Blind, and that was my introduction to guide dog travel.
Renee and Snoopy walk along a city sidewalk and cross a street at an intersection.
What I saw was the ease of travel, the speed that the guide dog handler would move with. That's what I wanted for myself. And not only that, but it was also the companionship.
Renee and Snoopy play with a tug toy outside in the yard.
Working with Snoopy has changed my life dramatically because there's so much freedom that comes along with having a guide dog. It's made the hard parts of blindness not so hard.
Renee sits next to Snoopy and gives him a pat on the chest.
I feel like my outlook on life and the world is so much more positive having Snoopy in my life.
My name is Amit Ahuja and my guide dog's name is Tashi.
I had the opportunity to complete Guide Dogs for the Blind's Orientation and Mobility Immersion Program.
Amit stands on a path with his white cane.
And not only did it help me learn to navigate my environment more safely using a white cane, it also made me an even more confident guide dog handler.
My experience was just fabulous.
Amit and his O&M instructor analyze an intersection and cross a city street.
We trained in different locations, practiced different skills, worked out a way to analyze a traffic crossing. I think GDB has transformed my life. To say that it's meeting my needs would be an understatement.
My name is Ella, and this is my canine buddy, Lafferty.
Ella sits on the floor of a living room next to a black lab.
Lafferty is just so amazing in many ways. He's such a good boy. He brings me so much joy and is one of my best friends.
With kids with visual impairments,
Ella's mom, Christy McKerney.
the struggle is real for social contact. It's hard to make friends sometimes. And with Lafferty, he's an automatic draw for all kids, which is wonderful. Lafferty has totally opened up, for Ella, new social connections.
Back to Ella.
I would recommend canine buddies. They're just really good dogs, and they can change a person's life and make it better.
All of Guide Dogs for the Blind services are provided free of charge, and our work is made possible by the generous support of our donors and volunteers.
Renee sits next to Snoopy on the grass in the park.
We receive no government funding.
This organization has made such a huge impact on my life and the lives of so many countless people, and the donors are the ones that make that possible.
Close-up of Snoopy.
Thank you so much.
Ella and Lafferty.
Thank you.
From the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Amit and his guide dog Tashi sit on a beach and watch the sunset.
Together, we are unstoppable. To learn more about our life-changing programs and to support our work, please visit guidedogs.com or scan the QR code.
Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, it is on, yes? Okay. It's on. It's on. It's on. Hello, it's on. It's on! Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. in celebration of all of you and our community that has gotten us here. My name is Lauren Holtz. I am the breeding manager. And today I have the wonderful privilege of introducing you to two of our newer breeding dogs that are new to our breeding colony. Guide Dogs for the Blind breeds Labrador Retrievers, Golden Retrievers, and Lab Golden Crosses that are specifically selected for excellent temperament, health, and intelligence for our guide and canine buddy programs. Once a dog is added to the breeding program, it is placed into a carefully screened, loving custodial home within a 50-mile radius of our San Rafael campus here. First up, I get to introduce Frodo, you guys can come on up, a male yellow Labrador. He is raised by Lizette Johnson of Berthoud, Colorado, Debbie Eckhart of Denver, Colorado, and breeder custodians are Phil and Amy Marsh. Come on up, you guys. Does anyone want to say some words about Mr. Frodo?
Sure, yeah. So this is my wife and I, Amy's and I, our first time being a breeder custodian. So we couldn't have picked or just handed to us a better dog for that matter. It's been an amazing journey. We're extremely fortunate for this opportunity to be able to raise him and to link Frodo up with his breeders, with Debbie and Lizette. So without further ado, I'll just pass the mic over to one of the raisers, and I appreciate the opportunity again. So thank you.
I'm Lizette Johnson from Berthoud, Colorado, and Frodo was number 20 for me, believe it or not. But the main draw was I raised his mother, Rena, and really wanted one of her puppies. It's so special raising a grand puppy. And to be honest, I've always requested females. I've had 3 males. He was number 3. And the only reason that we got the male is Debbie prefers the males. And it's for the same reason I prefer the females, so go figure on that one. But, I thought it's okay. He'll probably be neutered early, and he'll be just fine. I'll survive. Well, I got the paperwork, and he said, no early alter, and I went, oh, my God. But he changed my heart. He's been one of my favorite dogs, and he was always a perfect gentleman and just an outstanding dog, and I'm excited to have him as a breeder for guide dogs and to raise my great-grandpuppies. So that'll be really fun. Anyway, Debbie and I co-raised him. I was going to take an extensive travel, and knew I wouldn't have, nobody would want a puppy sit that long. So she finished raising the current puppy she was on, and then by the time I was ready to travel, she could take him full time. So I basically started him, and I said, you're going to love him. And she did, and then I got home from my trip, and she still wanted to trade back and forth. So anyway, he's a great dog. It's been wonderful meeting Phil and Amy, and everybody here. Congratulations, graduating class. And anyway, here's Debbie.
Good afternoon, everybody. First off, I would like to thank all the graduating teams today. Yeah, so together for them. Good job. I hope you have many, many happy miles and wagging tails on your road together. So congratulations. My name is Debbie, as you all heard, and I'm from North Glen, Colorado. And Frodo was also number 20 for me. I'm now working on number 22, and it happens to be, his name is Pugsley, and it is Frodo's son. So yeah, I know. So it's been a real treat to have Pugsley, having a little bit of Frodo at home with me. Like Lizette said, Frodo was just an amazing, amazing dog. He came to us basically trained, even though he was only 8 weeks old when we had him. But yeah, he's a super nice dog. I want to thank Phil and Amy so much for taking him in. Oh no, I'm going to cry. And I'd like to thank Guide Dogs for giving us the opportunity to be puppy raisers and go along this journey with everybody. So, again, congratulations to the teams today, and I hope everybody enjoys the rest of the day.
Thank you so much, Team Frodo. Okay, up next, we will be introducing Jada. She is also a yellow, but this time female, Labrador Retriever. Jada was raised by Katie and Dennis Edgren of Rancho Cordova, California, and breeder custodians Sharon McNamee.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Sharon. This is Jada, my little strawberry blonde. My other name for her is Wigglebutt because she gets so excited. She came to me as an excellent puppy because of these wonderful raisers here. I didn't have to do anything but try and keep her from jumping up. That's the only thing that she needs to be reminded of. It was a real treat for me to start this program. It's my first dog. I've been walking dogs here for 2 years and fell in love with them all, and I thought it's time to take one home. And I was very fortunate that this one came up right at the time when it was my turn. So I'm enjoying her tremendously. She's changed my life a bit, and I hope I can continue to change her. She's going to be bred in September, so more news to come.
Jade is our fourth puppy we've raised for Guide Dogs. Hi. And we called her our smart, sweet, slightly sassy girl. She's kind of a social butterfly, as you can see. But we're really happy. It's been nice to be in touch with Sharon, and we're grateful for the care she's providing to her. And it's nice being able to keep the connection with the puppy after we've raised him.
My name is Dennis. The only thing I wanted to say was, unlike Frodo, we were sure Jada was going to be puppy in training to be a guide. And then at the last evaluation, Celeste said, I really like her. She's really good. And next thing we know, she was selected for the breeding program. It's good for her.
Thank you so much, Team Jada. Yeah, you. Yeah, it's your moment. Soak it up. Again, I just want to extend a huge thank you to the communities of Jada and Frodo. You know, whenever we select a new breeder into the breeding colony, it is with this hope for the future, right? We're thinking about our next generation and the generation after that. We're always looking to the past when we look to the future, and Jada and Frodo are definitely going to be a big part of that. So thank you to all of the communities that came together to help Jada and Frodo be successful. Thanks so much. I now get to bring up Marlis Johnson for our Canine Buddy teams.
Thank you, Lauren. All right, good afternoon and welcome everybody. Again, my name is Marlis and I am an instructor here on the California campus. And I'm very proud to announce our Canine Buddy team as well as our guide dog graduates of class 1007. So I would get started with our newest Canine Buddy partnership between Leo Bissonette and his canine buddy Elway, a male black lab. On the screen behind me is a picture of the Bissonette family, Leo, Allison, Dan, and Jack. They stand on their home's outside deck with Elway. Elway is laying down wearing his blue Canine Buddy scarf, and Leo holds his leash. All are smiling at the camera, Elway included. And I have a note from client Leo Bissonette that he would like shared at graduation. Graduation has always been an important time for the guide dogs of the blind community to come together and celebrate new teams in the amazing efforts of our volunteer puppy raisers. For Elway's new family, this day has special meaning for us. Elway is graduating today from the Canine Buddy program. Elway came to us on May 15th, 2024, when we met him in Champlain, New York. Elway has been with us for only a few weeks, and already he has found a special place in our family. We each are developing very special relationships with him. He is a great dog, finding very special ways to bond with us. He loves to play, and his energy in the morning is special because he gets all of our days off to a great start. He loves to be close to each of us, and this has meant rearranging the furniture in our TV room so that we can all fit together. To Elway's two puppy raisers, Anne Tulikian and Robin Heslip, we thank you for all of the time and love and work that you dedicated to Elway. You gave us a great dog who has brought a very special presence to us here, and we will stay connected with you both. We are already collecting many memories and photos. We also want to take this opportunity to acknowledge Chuck Ferrugia, who will be retiring from Guide Dogs at the end of July. Chuck encouraged us to apply for the Canine Buddy program in June of 2023, and Chuck also met us in Champlain, New York on May 15th with this wonderful Canine Buddy, our Elway. And I also have a note from Elway's puppy raiser, Robin Heslip. On the screen behind me are two images. First is of Elway as a young puppy sitting on the floor wearing his green puppy jacket. The second is a close-up of an older Elway looking directly at the camera after playing in a splash pool. Both pictures show off his large and goofy smile. And I also have a note from Robin. Guide Dogs for the Blind has a saying, raise a puppy, change a life. And I can say that is definitely true, because raising Elway has changed my life. Elway was my first puppy. He was started by our club leader, Anne. Then he came to live with me when he was about 4.5 months old, and I had an incredible year with him. He is a sweet, smart, enthusiastic, and confident boy. I had so much fun on our adventures together, and he taught me so much. Elway is a hard worker, but he also knows how to enjoy his downtime by getting belly rubs, playing tug, and chewing on his toys. My favorite thing was seeing how excited he would get for a new toy. His whole body would wag, and he'd proudly parade it around. Consequently, he received many, many new toys while he lived with me. When Elway was 14 months old, I was selected for jury duty. For 3 days, Elway came with me to court. He waited patiently in the hallway during our breaks and would snooze in the jury box during the trial. He certainly won everyone over, and even the bailiff and court reporter commented on how well he did. I've often thought about Elway's future and wondered what was in store for him and who he would be matched with. I couldn't be more proud of him, and I'm so happy and excited for this new Canine Buddy partnership. Many people at GDB, as well as donors and volunteers, dedicate their lives to these special dogs, and I am so blessed to be a part of an amazing and supportive puppy club. Everyone in our club had a hand in Elway's development through working with him at our club meetings, puppy sitting, and giving me lots of encouragement and advice. I am so grateful to all of them. Congratulations to Leo and Elway. May you become the best of buddies and have a great life together. Now let's give a round of applause for Leo and Elway, our newest Canine Buddy team. Okay, and now I would like to present the graduating guide dog teams of Class 1007. Starting off with Jim Edwards of North Las Vegas, Nevada. Jim is graduating with his guide, Peyton, a male yellow Labrador Retriever Golden Cross, raised by Karen Jorgensen of San Jose, California. Jim is receiving Peyton, his third guide dog from Guide Dogs for the Blind. Jim and his wife, Karen, live in Las Vegas, where he retired after a long career as a vice president in a major bank. Jim loves his early morning walks with his guide and plans to do even more of it with Peyton.
Well, this is just a great day for me to be here and with Karen Jorgensen, who trained Peyton. And let me talk about Peyton a little bit. He's probably the kindest, sweetest dog even though I had 2 before. And he's so calm, it's unbelievable. He takes me everywhere, and he obeys, and he just is the most gentle soul out there. And he's going to spend a good life in Las Vegas. Vegas, we live near a golf course, and he will enjoy some nice strolls on the golf course greens and around the greens. And we also go to the casinos once in a while, and he'll know what a slot machine is.
He already knows.
So he's going from one good one to another good one. Anyhow, I'm so glad to be here with him and thank Guide Dogs for allowing me the 3rd time in my life to receive a guide dog. And it's a wonderful feeling to know that you've got him by your side and you can trust him. And I love him. So now I'm going to turn this over to Karen to tell us about all the training she did on him.
Let's see if I can get through this. Peyton is my first dog I've ever raised, and this has been really hard. After meeting Jim, I do feel a little bit better now, knowing that he will be very loved. I imagine this day over and over in my mind, but honestly never thought we'd be here. I never thought my first dog would make it as a guide, so this is very surprising. But I always knew he was great. I always referred to him as practically perfect Peyton. He was so easy to be around. When I first received him, I was just speechless. He was about 10 weeks old, nothing but fluff and just overwhelming cuteness. And I wondered if I could do this. When Michelle, my daughter, came over one day and saw how we were doing, and she said, "Wait a minute, that dog's training you. You're doing this all backwards." And her, being a teacher for autistic children, knew exactly what I was doing wrong and led me in the right way. And then the training began, and he straightened up and knew what I wanted, and then it was easy sailing from then on out. They say that having a guide dog for a visually impaired person is life-changing. But having him was life-changing for me. I had been newly retired, not knowing my purpose, what I was supposed to do. And when I brought him home, that changed. I knew what I needed to do. And he filled every day. As soon as he was fully vaccinated, we were out there in the world. We went everywhere daily. I don't think we spent one day home. We met everyone. We went to the beach. We went to the snow. We went to the lakes. We went hiking. We went shopping a lot. He's a really good shopper, really good. One funny story was we were at Macy's, and I was trying on clothes, not paying attention to him. He was right there in the room with me, and all of a sudden I hear, hello, dog. His body was still on my side of the dressing room, but his head had gone under to the other side just to say hello. So trying to reprimand him from that, but it was so cute. Just what could I do? Another thing he did for me was one day we were at a track, and I was working on recall on a short leash, and I stepped backwards and just twisted my foot, went down, used my arm as a kickstand, and when that happened, I dropped the leash, which, as raisers, we're never supposed to drop our leash. He stayed there until Peyton come, and then he came right to my side. I had to grab him with my right arm because my left arm was broken, and he walked all the way home with me a few blocks on my right side, which he had never walked on the right, always the left. But he was a trooper. And he could have bolted when I dropped the leash, but he didn't. He stayed right there with me. I knew then he was special, very special. And I lost my train of thought here. When I broke my arm, I did have to let him go for about 6 weeks, and that was really hard. The surgeon that I had at the time was very matter-of-fact. She would come in, look at the x-rays, and say, "Okay, you're fine, see you in 2 weeks." Never any chit-chat. When my cast came off, Peyton went to the doctors with me. This time when she walked in and she saw Peyton, she sat down. She smiled. I had never seen her smile before. started petting him, took her gloves off, was hugging him, asked all the questions about guide dogs. Later that day, she called me and she asked me about career change. If he didn't make it, she wanted to adopt him. So he brought out just the best in everyone. Everyone loved him. He's just been he's just been a joy to have around, and I've missed him terribly. I'm already planning a flight out to Vegas to see Jim, right? Yeah. And so I wish you two all the best of luck, all the best adventures, and I really believe you're just getting a great partner. You're going to have great times with Peyton. He's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Up next, we have Robert Hampson of Toronto, Ontario, graduating with his guide, Kelly, a female yellow Labrador Retriever raised by Cynthia Breckman and Jim Wade of San Juan Capistrano, as well as Riley Williams of Lake Elsinore, California. Kelly is Rob's second guide from Guide Dogs for the Blind. Robert looks forward to Kelly accompanying him to work at the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, where he sells technology gear to people who are blind and visually impaired. In his free time, Robert enjoys cooking, woodworking, and playing the guitar. He also has a charity that collects pop can tabs to buy wheelchairs for children. Let's give a round of applause.
Thank you, everyone. So, I've been here 2 weeks now, and I just find it amazing how quickly that bond is developing with Kelly. She is lovely. Her working pace for me, in a city like Toronto, I can totally see this working out. She's fast, she's confident, noise, construction, traffic, nothing bothers her. We went down and tried some subways, some various areas, and she just was happy to go and nothing phases her. So I'm so excited for this journey. But what I know is none of this could have happened without so many people, starting with the donors, then to the puppy raisers, and the breeders, finally the kennel staff, and all those puppy raisers, Cindy, Jim, Riley, and everyone who have put in tons and tons of effort, having her go with them every day, all the time. And then the most important part in the few recent weeks are the trainers. My trainer, Laura, also trained Kelly, so having the opportunity to work with Laura, who knows Kelly best, has given me even more tips and tricks and great things to take away to work with Kelly. And then also Marlis and Emily and Jeff, who worked with us for the first week, and my fantastic classmates. This has been a great 2 weeks, and I really thank everyone, and I look forward to my new adventure with Kelly.
Hi, everyone. I'm Laura, Rob and Kelly's instructor for class. His raisers weren't able to make it today, but I do have a little excerpt that they would like to be read at graduation. And this is from Cindy. Rob and Kelly, I am sorry that neither Riley nor myself can be there to celebrate your graduation today. We are with you in spirit. First, I would like to thank Riley for all her hard work with Kelly for the first 4 months of her journey to being a guide dog. At Kelly's final evaluation before heading back to campus, I told my club leaders and PFM that whoever got Kelly was getting a wonderful dog and was very lucky. Rob, after my conversations with you, I think Kelly is a very lucky dog too. I know you will love and cherish her. Kelly is my fourth dog that I have been the final raiser before returning to campus. I have loved them all, but each one has something special that I will always remember about them. With Kelly, my memory will be the amazing journey she made from being a 6-month-old puppy to the confident dog she is now. Seeing her blossom gave me such amazing joy and will always hold my most special memories of her. I wish you both the best as you head off as a team today to begin a new chapter in your lives. I look forward to seeing pictures of Kelly the first time she sees snow, and many other pictures of the adventures you will have together. I love you, Kelly. Now go and make us proud.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Tom Nutter of Danville, California, graduating with his guide, Fenway. Fenway is a male yellow Labrador retriever raised by Karen Weaver of Loomis, California. Tom is retired and lives in Danville, California with his retired guide dog, Oxford. Fenway will be Tom's 4th guide dog. Tom is looking forward to taking long walks with Fenway and maybe an occasional trip to the wine country. Although it is not in his plans, Tom thinks it would be fun to take Fenway to Boston and let him experience a Fable green monster. And only avid baseball fans will understand the reference. Here's the microphone.
Okay. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day, and when it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. And you say, what can make me feel that way? My dog, Fenway. You see, Morgan, I sang it again.
Good job.
Well, in these 2 weeks, I've been extremely impressed with the entire group here, the training group, the nursing staff, the RAs. They all form a team to help us reach this goal of going home successfully with our dogs. I'll kind of give you a little example. We were finishing our dinner one night and all sitting around the table. One of my co-conspirators was having a little trouble with the gentle leader. And he said, I just can't get this thing to fit. I can't get it. I don't get the leash. And so there's just 4 of us plus a nurse and an RA and a kitchen person there. And so Kathy, the nurse, says, I can help you with that. So Kathy came over and the RA came over. Of course, my co-conspirator didn't have his gentle leader, so I offered mine. And they sat there with him and worked with him so he could get that gentle leader attached to his dog. Now, this is the kind of teamwork. They pitched in, they saw an issue, it led to their mission, and they got right in there and helped him out. Another example here of what it's like for these instructors. We were on a training outing into Berkeley one morning, and Jim and I were sitting at a table, and Emily was there, and Kathy, the nurse, was there, and Morgan and Rob were out on their mission, or out on their route, and we're having a nice little conversation, and suddenly Emily got up and was out the door in a flash. I hadn't said anything. So, as it turned out, there was a blind man trying to cross a very busy street. He had a white cane and was trying to work his way across, and he was stuck out in the middle of that crosswalk. And Emily went right out there, explained to him that she was a trainer of blind people, and that she could help him get across the street. She did, and she took him to his destination. I think maybe she might have mentioned guide dogs, and maybe he could use one. On another day, got in to do our training, and Jen, the RA, was there, and she had had kind of a hectic morning. She had seen a dog, a pet dog, out on the loose, just running free. And there was an animal control officer trying to catch the dog. It was a little border collie. Border collies are extremely fast. So he wasn't able to catch the dog, so Jen offered to help out, and another person came to help out. And they finally got the dog into a position where they thought they could catch it. But Jen's the one with all the experience with dogs. She sat down on the ground, maybe 10, 15 feet away from the dog, and the dog saw her down at his level, her level, and Jen held out a kibble, and the dog came over, took the kibble, and Jen definitely applied a leash to the dog. So the animal control officer got the ID, and the dog was returned to its owner. Just part of a day's work as an employee here at Guide Dogs for the Blind. I've had the good luck and opportunity to be a part of a Puppy Raisers Club. I attend the Danville Puppy Raisers Club meetings, hence the shirt. So I get to see all the work and all the effort that goes on with these puppy raisers while raising the puppies. And I'm greatly appreciative of all that they do. I thank them for their dedication, for their determination, for their devotion. But most of all, I thank them for their love, for the love of these beautiful dogs. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and first of all, I'd like to give this to GDB for Fenway's Harness. I'm so happy to be here today to meet the new team of Tom and Fenway. I want to thank Guide Dogs for the Blind for allowing me to raise Fenway. He is my 7th guide dog puppy. And I would also like to thank April Elias and Tammy McCrary and all the other puppy club members of Auburn, California that helped me to raise Fenway. Graduations are a rite of passage. They symbolize the beginnings of new and exciting adventures ahead. There are tears of joy and sadness during these ceremonies, tears of joy for new friends made, accomplishments realized, and anticipation of what is to come. As puppy raisers, we're often asked, isn't it hard to give them up? Well, yes, of course it's hard. But as puppy raisers, we know our time with the puppies will be for a limited time, and their next journey will be full of adventures, and they will be loved. Sometimes you hear comments like, oh, it's a puppy in training to be a service dog. While the ultimate goal is for the puppy to become a guide, while they're with us, they've already started to begin to provide a service and give of themselves. They demonstrate what true love is, show us joy with their silly puppy antics, and at times teach us patience. Such as when you're trying to put their toys away and they're dragging them back out as soon as you can put them back in the box. Or when you're trying to wash off the patio window that's full of nose prints, and as you're washing it, they're there with their nose touching the glass all over again. So they comfort us through sad times and share in our happy times. They're not aware of what they even do for us. They ask for nothing in return except a pat on the head, a hug, and maybe a piece of kibble or ice. Fenway was always a happy boy. He enjoyed going to movies, baseball games, and just running errands. He didn't mind where he was going. It was all an adventure to him. He was never bothered by loud noises, large crowds, or barking dogs. On one outing to a casino, 2 elderly ladies approached us and asked if they could pet Fenway. As they were petting him, they asked what his name was. I said, well, his name is Fenway. And they said, oh, well, he must like baseball. And I said, well, yes, he has gone to numerous games, as a matter of fact. After a few minutes, the ladies said goodbye, and as they walked away, one of them turned around and said, "Goodbye, Wrigley." At least she remembered he had a baseball connection. On one of the first graduations I attended, one of the handlers said, when he got his cane, he got wings, but when he got his dog, he soared. Now, those words had a tremendous impact on me. Now when people say, "Isn't it hard to give them up?" I tell them yes, and I recite the words administered by a gentleman who couldn't have said it better. Tom, I wish you and Fenway many, many happy adventures as you walk side by side through life's journey.
All right, thank you. And last but certainly not least, we have Morgan Watkins of Austin, Texas, graduating with his guide, Larry, a male golden retriever raised by Kay Blockley of Ridgecrest, California, Susan King of Paso Robles, California, and Elizabeth McCain of Ridgecrest, California. Morgan is receiving Larry, his fourth partner from Guide Dogs for the Blind. Morgan lives in Austin, Texas with his wife, Dee Dee, and their recently retired guide. Morgan spent 30 years as a director at the University of Texas, but always loved making time to be supportive of the Guide Dogs for the Blind mission. Morgan is looking forward to his new life with Larry and is ready to see the world through the eyes of his new, very special golden retriever.
Thank you.
And then remind you to return to the right.
Thank you. Because I am a blind guy, I'm going to ask you all to do me a small favor. Who's the furthest one over to the left? I want to hear a voice. Sharon. Sharon. And who's furthest to the right?
Karen.
Emily. Way over there. Oops, sorry. So this is kind of the middle area? Yes. Hi. I want to start out by correcting one small thing. We keep hearing 1007 as our class. I kind of think of it as 1007. And to me, I was just waiting, and we do have a James in the class, and I was all ready for a James Bond. But there was something that no one has said yet, and I want to go ahead and disclose this in the interest of full disclosure. I thought, I'm turning 70 this year, and I thought, oh, good gracious, I know I'm going to be the oldest in the class, and that's fine. This is my fourth dog. And then I found out that I would be the second youngest. And we've got a moniker in our group we kind of adopted. We are the three old men and the kid. And you know what? I've never been in a class that was all male. That would have made me fearful had I thought about it. But we have had the best time. We worked hard, and there's just so much that we've been thankful for. I've got to mention my wife, Dee Dee. You know what she's doing right now? She is wrecking my third guide dog. Because right now I think he is probably eating, doggy bonbons and milk bones, and she's going out every day with, taking him walking. Of course, she's taken on so much of the transition for Grandin, who is a wonderful guide. My sister Patty even came here. This is cool. Are you there, Patty? There. Looking at her now. Phew. We came out. We have been very, very fortunate. I had a wonderful time with the class, but it's through the efforts of a lot of other people. Susan is the raiser of Susan King, and she and her husband Steve helped bring this dog up. There was another lady, Kay. I remember her last name. If I work at, I goofed up. Blatchley. And I talked to her this morning. She couldn't be here, but she took care of him the first period between like 8 weeks and 16 to 20 weeks. And then we had another set of volunteers after Susan had brought Larry back, and I just met him moments ago, Dan and Diane, who worked with the Commuter Foster Care Program, which I I knew very little about, but dogs who need a little extra support and training so they can reach their fullest potential can get that extra attention because guide dog cares. And it goes further. It's the breeder, well, I think of it breeder keepers. Breeder custodians is probably the N word, but we used to think the breeder keepers, of course, foster care, and then the staff. Marlis was my instructor. She put up with me. What a huge effort that had to have been. I figure she went home. She just got married June 1st. Congratulate her. Isn't that cool? I was so tickled because I was in class with her on her first month anniversary. And I figured out my wife Dee Dee and I have been together 521 months married, which is just, she's got a ways to go. Emily was my class supervisor, and I've known her for a very long time. She made me feel special before. She made me feel special in class. So did the other people. This place is made of people that care, from the breeding, from the kennel workers to, of course, the puppy raisers. I'll keep saying them over and over again. The housekeeping staff, the kitchen staff, the residential assistants, the groundskeepers, all of the administration. Yes, administration, people who move paper. It has been the most supportive environment. I've loved the last 2 weeks. Thank you for making it possible for me to go home with the softest, sweetest, most huggable dog I've ever known, named Larry, who is camped out right now, kind of ignoring me. Thank you all. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I see through my dogs, and that's everything. Susan.
I'd like to take a moment to thank the John Momey Foundation for sponsoring this amazing team of Morgan and Larry. Thank you very much. I was not going to cry. But now I would just like to give you, Morgan, a little word of warning about life with Larry.
Uh-oh.
Wherever Larry goes, a fan club forms. And he is beloved by everybody who ever meets him. And this can happen in a variety of ways. You can get stopped on the street. Oh, there's Larry. You're going to be the guy who is holding Larry's harness. And I'm sorry about that invisibility that's going to happen. It's just the way it is. He can be lying there doing nothing, and it attracts a crowd of people who are like, oh, what an amazing dog. That's just crazy. And he's not doing anything. But I'll give you an example of this. I took him with me to the doctor, and I was telling the doctor about whatever my issues were. Larry's being perfect because he's Larry. The doctor was sort of listening to me, but mostly she was looking at Larry. And once I was done complaining, she had all kinds of questions about Larry, which I happily answered, and I went on my way. Several months later, I had a telemed appointment with this same doctor. Larry, by then, is on campus, wending his way towards Morgan. I'm talking with the doctor, and I'm babysitting a baby puppy who all of a sudden, while I'm on the phone, dashes off and goes and hides behind a toilet. And so I run after her and say, get out of there. And the doctor's like, what? And I said, oh, I have a baby puppy. And she said, oh, a baby puppy, that's cool. And I said, I raise dogs for guide dogs for the blind. She said, oh, you're the one who had Larry. She doesn't remember me. She only remembers Larry. And I'm sorry, Morgan, but that's just the way it goes. Life with Larry. Thank you.
Can I say something about the foundation? Real quickly. I never did find the brailer in the dorm to make notes, and I've been thinking all day, I can't forget certain things, and of course I passed right over. I do want to thank the John Momey Foundation because they took a chance and they sponsored Larry before they even know he'd be with me. They sponsored him before he went into training, and their difference and the kind of what they did for us will always be remembered. And thanks to Uncle John Momey, and some of his family is here, and I did not want to forget, and I did. But thank you.
All right, thank you, everybody. Let's give one more round of applause for our graduating class of 1007. Next, I'm going to pass it off to Laura O'Keefe to narrate a guidework demonstration.
During training, our dogs learn most of the skills involved with guide work through the use of a clicker, which marks a behavior we want the dog to repeat. The clicker makes communication consistent and timely, better than praise or food alone. We start by pairing food with the sound of the click, and then once the dog understands that the click means food, we can then pair the click with a desired behavior. For example, when they're doing something like stopping for a curb or going into a down position and they get a click, they think food, and they're likely to want to do these behaviors in anticipation of getting rewarded. So I'm going to have Marissa, the resident advisor, and her guide dog Jim come up in front to the stage, and we're gonna practice targeting a chair with the clicker. So I'm going to get a chair set up here as well. So we are going to, sorry, you got it. We are going to start with something called the back chain method. So we start at the end goal and slowly, link by link, increase the distance from the target. Usually with anytime people are using the clicker with their dog for targeting, we start with a hand target. So you're kind of getting your dog into the game of clicker. So as you can see, Marissa is putting her hand out in front of her in a fist and then clicking once Jim targets that fist with her nose. Then Marissa will move on to put that hand target on the edge of the chair and then click there, and that's pairing that fist target with the chair, the target. So now she'll start to take one little step back and then a step forward with her fist on the chair and then click there. And then the next step is another step back and then towards, yep, exactly. So she's kind of moving further and further back there away from the chair. And then she'll take another step there, and then she can start to pick up the harness handle and see if he's anticipating movement towards that chair. There we go. Yeah, he's got it. Good job, Jim. And then she will move further and further back, and then she'll take her time, pick up the handle, and then work him towards the chair from there. And then the final goal will be for Marissa to work Jim from a further distance so she can work him from the lobby doors and then back to this chair. Do you guys think they'll find it? All right, let's see.
Find the chair. Find the chair, buddy. Go get the chair. Find it.
Yeah, there we go, buddy. And then the final thing is Marissa will take a seat in that chair, and that's going to help Jim learn to target an empty chair and kind of ends the game right there. But yeah, this simple targeting technique can be widely used in a client's home area. They can apply this to teach their dogs how to locate all kinds of targets, such as an ATM machine, pedestrian crosswalk buttons, bus stops, and many other things. Yeah, thank you, Marissa and Jim. All right, and then I will pass the microphone on to Larry for some final remarks and closing the ceremony.
She doesn't mean Larry the dog. Larry the human. Hi, thank you.
Though I have no relation to Larry the dog, wasn't it? Hi, I'm Larry Meisner. I'm the Chief Philanthropic Officer here at Guide Dogs for the Blind. Hello, everybody who is joining remotely. I have the very tough job now of facilitating a puppy delivery. Yes, there's going to be a lot of awe factors. So first, I'd like to invite the puppy raisers up, Shannon and Marley Miller. So welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing this, and would love to have you share a little bit about how you got into the puppy raising world. And
okay. Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Shannon Miller. I started raising puppies 15 years ago in high school, took a long break, and this will be my 5th puppy that we're picking up today. Me and my husband, Marley, now are raising them together. I've never picked up a puppy at graduation, but it's special to do it today because my sister Laura is also in the training program, and this is the graduation of one of her dogs too, so it's really cool to get to do this. And we're in the Walnut Creek Puppy Raising Club.
Great, thank you. Did you want to say anything? Okay. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the puppy delivery, we actually, and I hope I'm not the one ringing, so okay. We have an opportunity for the puppy raisers to guess the puppy's name. So I'll provide some clues, and of course the audience can help if there's some challenges. But let's first introduce the puppy, and as Morgan and Larry stated, the John Momey Foundation. This is Jane and Roger of the John Momey Foundation. We're delivering this gorgeous female golden retriever. Okay, she's a cutie. And so now, and the mom of the golden retriever is Brielle, and the dad is Chipper. Oh, so you know Chipper. There you go. Is that Chipper? Okay, say hi to Chipper for us, and he did really well. Okay, so here's the clue. The puppy's name, and it's a C litter. I need to give you that clue as well. So C litter. Okay. The name of a region of France, also famous for the original form of sweetened whipped cream.
Is it Chantilly?
Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah, right off the bat. Meet Chantilly, so please.
Oh my goodness, am I taking her?
You're taking her.
Okay.
Not because I want to give her
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both. Yes, yeah, please have a seat. Thank you. And if you can go this way. Yeah. So this wraps up 1007. Is that right, Morgan? The graduation class. Thank you. And as Emily opened up the ceremony with a lot of appreciation, it does take, people have said it takes a village, it takes an enormous community to do what we do. And I want to thank you all for being part of that and this enormous community. We cannot do it without you. Also, as Emily stated, many, if not most of you, are doing multiple roles in your engagement with GDB. And again, thank you for everything. Congratulations to the class, the breeders. Thank you just for all that you do. So in closing, for those of you who are interested in volunteering, possibly joining the GDB staff, or if you happen to know somebody who would benefit from our programs and services, please visit guidedogs.com. That's right. For those of you who are interested or inspired and would like to make a donation, you can do so multiple ways. You can do so through text. You can text the word partnerships to 50155. You could scan the QR code on your program or on that poster, or somebody who is viewing remotely, you can always go to guidedogs.com. And for those who are viewing remotely, this is This is all for you. So thank you. I heard there were some technical challenges at the beginning. Apologize for that. We got them fixed pretty quickly, so I'm sure you got to enjoy the graduation. And for those of you who are here, our gift shop is open. It's at the top of the campus and will be available. It's at the Visitor and Volunteer Center, for those of you who don't know that building. And again, those who are here, the doors are open. Wonderful refreshments are provided by our fabulous kitchen staff. So please enjoy. And again, thank you for being here. Thank you for viewing.